Welcome back. Now it's time for E-Trends. I'm super excited for today's guest who's going to help me break down today's conversation. He was here before in E-Magazine, but now he's back again and he's going to help me with that conversation today. It's the one and only Mufti, who is an actor as well as a voice artist. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
How are you doing today, Mufti?
I'm doing good.
Yes, Corona's been treating you well?
Yeah, it has been treating us well. From my side, I can say it's been good, yeah.
It's good to hear the positive feedback on that.
Exactly.
So I just want to know the projects you've been working on. I know for a lot of creatives, they've been saying this season has been super difficult for you, but since it's been positive for you, you can share with us the projects you've been working on before we jump into our conversation.
Well, I've mainly worked on voice jobs, Swahili animations, English animations. Luckily, I've broken into the Bollywood animation side, so things are going well.
That's really nice.
Yeah, it's really
I'm
nice,
so happy for you. I'm curious to know how the Bollywood one is working. Now, you have to have like a certain accent?
Well, it depends. Sometimes you get here and you have to have a different accent, or you just have to use a different type of tone and variation.
Wow.
So
Mufti, you're really made for this.
Yeah, they teach us how to hack as many voice variations as possible, international accent as well.
Wow.
So it's been a great year from February to up until yesterday. You can hear my voice is still not that strong. I've been recording for the last 48 hours.
It's a hard work.
Yeah,
And now I'm here using your voice again. I'm so sorry.
But it's fun. That's how I get to become the best at what I want to be.
That's very true.
Exactly.
Well, let's jump into our conversation for today. Why don't we? Now, we started with the actor John Boyega, who has ended his association with perfume brand Malone after the company controversially cut him from a commercial for a Chinese market. Now, Boyega, 28, created the short film himself, but replaced by actor Louis Hauron for the Chinese version, a decision the Star Wars actor said was wrong in Twitter thread announcing his resignation on Monday. I'll just share with you the tweet he shared, which is, their decision to replace my campaign in China by using concept and substituting a local brand ambassador for me without either my consent or prior notice was wrong. That was Boyega who shared that. He also added, while many brands understandably use a variety of global and local ambassadors, dismissively trading out one's culture this way is not something I condone. Now, Mufti, when you came across this, story about John Boyega quitting this perfume brand because of what exactly happened in the advert he was a part of, what are your thoughts about this whole situation?
First of all, I think that's the highest unprofessionalism level that I've seen by a big brand as the ones who are under the Malone company. Well, it's so sad you get to engage someone in a project from the start, and then you do not even inform them of the changes that you're making. That's, for me, that's just...
It's so wrong in so many ways. It doesn't make sense.
Yes.
And, just deciding because you're, let's say the culture or the community or the audience you're trying to, attract or view your show to are different from what you think of. It gives no person any right on that particular situation.
Exactly.
Now, noting that Boyega actually created this whole film by himself, he wrote the script, he directed how he wanted to be shot. To me, it feels like theft. That you're going to just change the whole actors and just use this concept and just have Chinese actors in it. What do you think about that? Imagine you writing your own script for an advert and then someone just switching it up with every actor. How would you feel about that?
First of all, if you get to read what he wrote, what he was saying, he created a scene where it was all about his life in the past and how he has been. So you see, it has taken him a lot of time to come up with that specific skit to the Asian market. So I felt if they really needed, they call him Tabo Liu, to do that part, they should have just used both of them. Maybe Liu will appeal to the Asian market as well, but also doesn't mean that having a black face that will not appeal to the Asian market.
I was actually going to come to that question. Is that a valid reason to take someone out from such an advert?
It is not a valid reason because he is an international superstar. Tabo is just known in the Asian market or in the Chinese market. So I believe what they would have done, they would just told him to come up with two concepts, the one that he had, and then one that will revolve around Liu, so they can have an easy transition and make him maybe the next brand ambassador in China.
100%. I don't know why they couldn't just do that whole scene together. It could have been equally enough and avoid all this controversy that's happening. Do you think this situation would have an immense impact on the sales of this brand, Malone? Do you think they will lose sales because of what's happening globally? Maybe in China, not so much, but what are your thoughts about that?
Well, my thoughts are, I think they will not lose a lot because it's a big brand and it's a big company that is involved with a lot of products. But they will lose maybe 5% of their clientele, maybe mostly of the black market.
100% the black market.
Yes, the black market, especially in Britain
yes.
and maybe in other parts of the world. But I think the fact that they decided just to take him out of his own story without even informing him is total disrespect.
And I generally think like the timing of it happening in a time where we're just facing issues to do with racism, and then you're doing that. Were they really being ignorant about it from your perspective?
From my perspective, I think it's just racism in a way, because you can't tell me that in Asia there are no black people. There are no colored people. So why engage someone in an entire project and then in the last minute, we are sorry that we're going to use a 22-year-old
because of this and that.
Why? You understand, yes, he's a good actor. He's scooped, I think, 3 or 4 awards in China. But I mean, this is Boyega. This is a big brand. He'll bring a lot of clients to the
I think like he'll bring a diverse market as compared to just having, Chinese market. Exactly. For every brand, your goal should be penetrate into the global market, not just your own.
I think that the lady, I've seen the interview of the lady just saying that, they just decided to use someone different, just like that. That is so, for me, it's not Black Lives Matter, man.
It doesn't. It's business for them.
Asian Lives Matter.
Well, Mufti, I want to read for you some tweet comments. I just want to get your perspective and opinion on them. We have someone here replying to that situation with John Boyega called Something Witty, and they say, you're playing into their hands. This gives them millions of dollars of free viral racial rage publicity. This was not a mistake. H&M, Gucci, and others have perfected this play, deprived them of their prize. What do you think about that tweet? Do you agree with what he says, that we're playing into their game by giving them that publicity?
I usually say when you look at something from one side of it, it might look bad, but on the other side, what are the intentions? Because I believe a big company as that, with all their marketing consultants, they did not just come up with this idea on the last minute. I'm pretty much sure they've been planning to do this from way back. They just had the perfect timing of maybe 24, 48 hours to the release in China, so that they can make themselves trend. While trending, that's a sign that they're going to market
because
their
I
product.
feel like even if I did see the advert with John Boyega in it, I wouldn't have known about it now.
Exactly.
All the way in Kenya know about this Chinese brand.
You see, and the entire world now will see, what is this Malone?
Exactly. Now we Google and we try to find out about Malone. So this individual is actually on point with what he says.
Clear.
Another one from Noah where he says it was wrong that you were not informed beforehand, but the claim that the Chinese versions appropriate your culture is absurd. Sending love. What do you think about it? Is he right to say this?
He said the Chinese culture what?
They say the Chinese culture, but they claim that the Chinese version appropriates your culture is absurd, because obviously he said that he had created this concept and he just felt like, there was appropriation of his culture, as it said. It's trading out one's culture this way is not something I condone.
Well, that would might be halfway true.
Halfway true, somewhere true.
Yeah, somewhere true. It depends with how they're looking, how one looks at this situation.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. I'll read the last tweet. Someone here says, wickedness will never end. Why hate against the progress of black people? I will never know. I read their wishy-washy apology as if they didn't sit down to deliberate on it before making the decision to replace him. Wickedness in high places. Just exactly what you said. They had to sit down to make this decision.
So they had planned it from way back.
Yes, that's very true.
So they just decided to use it at the right time to ride on the Black Lives Matter campaign, yeah, but also in a different way. They chose a back route to get to where they want to be.
Well,
because now black people will be looking, well, why do you do this to a fellow black person?
Exactly.
No! And then they Google Malone, okay, Malone, the trends.
Yes.
So you never know what the sales will be by the end of the
We
year.
live in a crazy world, don't we? Well, Mufti, I'm going to move on to the next conversation we have, which is on Disney Plus, that has launched in 8 more European countries. Now, Walt Disney has launched its Disney Plus streaming services in 8 more European countries. They include Portugal, Norway, Denmark, Sweden, Finland, Iceland, Belgium, and Luxembourg. Now, we have, in quotes, we have surpassed 60.5 million paid subscribers globally, and today we continue our international expansion with the launch of Disney Plus in 8 countries. This was Rebecca Campbell, the chairman of Walt Disney Direct to Consumer and International. She also added, as a major force in global direct to consumer space, we're bringing in high quality, optimistic storytelling that you expect from our brands to even more people. Now, Mufti, as an actor, do you feel when online streaming platforms such as Disney Plus grow their presence into the global market, it's a direct positive impact for you who's a creative?
A direct plus, not really, unless you are self-producing for yourself, because the returns mostly go to the production company. You as an actor or as a creative, you will get, yes, the platform for people to see what you're producing, be it sound, be it film, be it music or anything. But before now you start making money out of it, it takes a lot of time. So most of the people, especially this year, they are going more into producing their own content and putting it out there. And for now, companies like Disney and others like maybe Netflix to come and get the ideas and maybe show them on their platform. But direct impact to the creative, not within the past or 2 years. Yeah,
it's a longer channel as compared
exactly.
to your as compared to being a production company.
Yeah, exactly.
What would it mean for Disney Plus to come into the African market, such as how Netflix has now penetrated into the African space? What would this mean for Africans?
It will mean that the world gets to see the rich African content, the rich African stories that we have. We have very good, I can say, documentaries, films, and even series that unfortunately are not being showcased to the world because, well, Disney as well. Disney have some,
they do.
Some stuff that they do not want to get associated with the black people much. But if they decide to take the option that Netflix has chosen, then they will up our productions. People will have to create quality jobs for them to be able to have a chance to air either in Disney and any other platforms that are out there. So it will be a big plus for the entire production industry in Africa. Yeah.
And I'm glad we've been talking about Netflix. Of course, Netflix was first in the game and penetrated and is globally doing amazing work, not just only for Nigeria, South Africa. We even have Poacher coming up on Netflix end of this month. So we're super excited as Kenyans for that. Do you think, first of all, I want to get to know you, what you prefer, what's your perspective and what company in terms of Netflix and Disney Plus, which one of the two for you is doing the best? Should I say it like that?
The best. Tricky question. Disney is a big brand.
Yes.
But if I give it 3 to 5 years, Netflix will not get to where they are, but they'll be on a competitive range against Disney. Because Netflix, I feel they do not discriminate in any way. They find a good story that maybe has not been shot well. They will go ahead and maybe fund or give them equipment and crew who will come to the ground and shoot the story that is there and maybe deliver it in the quality and the way that they want. But for Disney, I don't know if they can do that.
Actually, a lot of people say Disney's, let's say, consumers are more of the European, white culture, as well as young kids, because Disney Plus is the ones who bring us animations, Mulan, all that stuff. So they say it's quite narrow as compared to Netflix.
Yeah, it is now. Because also for we in the voice industry, getting to penetrate into Disney for animations, the kids' animations, takes us a long, long while.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
You're doing a voiceover for something like The Lion King can take years.
It can take years. You might have the voice, but where is he from? Nairobi. can't you get a South African? I don't know. A Nigerian? No, they have a different accent. Okay.
Wow.
They move to a different country.
That's crazy. I do
But you
hope we'll
see,
go from
the good
that.
thing, they give us a chance to continue doing good in our craft. And I believe in the next 2 years, I will break. Personally, I will break into the American market.
I'm looking forward to that, Mufti, honestly
Exactly.
speaking. I'm going to be a number one.
Remember I told you last year?
I remember. I've not forgotten.
Exactly.
We're going to pause right there, Mufti, but we're going to continue our conversation, guys. Do not go anywhere.